WQEE 99.1 FM The Key, Newnan, Sharpsburg, Franklin, LaGrange.
Haunted Hills Farm returns for another season of thrills and chills. Tiptoe through the cursed land. Wander onto the haunted hayride. Clown around in the black light labyrinth. Catch your breath by the campfire and indulge on some fright bites and refreshments while you wait. Open Friday and Saturday nights in September, October, and November. This fall, come visit Haunted Hills Farm for all the screams in the woods. Tickets range from $30 to $35. Visit hauntedhillsfarm.com. Purchase tickets in advance, online, or in person. All sales on property are cash only. We'll be waiting.
The House of Light brings clarity to your soul, offering a safe space for healing through our compassionate practitioners, services, classes, and wisdom, plus the tools to support you in our retail space.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
The views and opinions of this show and program are not the views and opinions of this station, its management, or its clientele.
Good morning. Welcome to WQEE 99.1. I'm Donna.
And I am Bruce.
And this is
Lyrical Wisdom.
Well. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, it's one of those great mornings where it's a nice, cool, crisp air coming in.
It is. And the clouds are teasing us out there. They are saying we could rain.
Oh, they've been doing that for the past 3 or 4 days.
They have. They have been such little teasers up here in the sky.
Yeah.
Love them so much for it because you never know what's going to happen.
Even the fake ones, Bruce.
Even the fake ones. They're such teasers. No, I love them so much.
I took my mama to my grandson's baseball game last night, and as we were driving to Columbus, Georgia, we were looking at the sky, and my mom was like, look at those clouds. They look so funny. I said, kind of fake, right, Mom? And she goes, oh, they do. I said, they look like somebody literally painted the sky.
The sky, yes.
I love it.
I love it, too.
Absolutely love it. We're getting very creative in our...
We are getting so creative. My wife and I were looking at the sunrise this morning, and oh my gosh, it did look like somebody just took a beautiful paintbrush and created, and that's what I see out of the window here at the radio station.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Ryan, for providing us with such a wonderful view.
Thank you. So from what I understand, you and Allison kind of held the fort down, and then we had a little bit of a situation last weekend.
There was a little storm that kind of came through.
We actually were blessed. Very blessed.
We were too.
Especially considering what did happen,
Yes.
where it wound up going to North Carolina and all. Really and truly, my heart goes out to those people. God bless you all for coming together as one in a community, and shame on those that are not helping.
Absolutely.
And you know who I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I can't believe that FEMA or the federal government, they haven't stepped in yet and said, y'all need help. Because they can't, the people that live in the mountains can't go anywhere. There's no roads. And so they had helicopters coming, dropping food for them. And now they said, no helicopters. It's a no-fly zone. So bless you all so much. All right. I understand that you all already picked a song for us.
We did try to pick a song. We were hoping that there wouldn't be any more things coming along in this wonderful creation and existence we have.
Thank you all so much for being here today.
And
thank
remember
you.
to please send in your requests to lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. And you can also send them directly to WQEE 99.1 FM at 99classicrock@gmail.com. 99classicrock@gmail.com.
And you can leave us a request on our new YouTube channel.
Yes.
Please search Lyrical Wisdom on YouTube and subscribe, listen, and like and leave comments, because we love your comments and we love your requests.
And if you have any feedback, please send us some feedback on our email or anywhere that you can find to give us any kind of feedback or any kind of comments.
Yeah.
We love it. We love to hear from the people that listen. And that's exactly why we have the song for you today.
This is a request from David in Grantville. Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day. I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me, and I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps, and I'm the only one. I walk alone. I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish out there will find me. I wish someone out there will find me. Till then, I walk alone. I'm walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind, on the borderline of the edge, and where I walk alone. Read between the lines. Can I say this word? What's up and everything's all right. Check my vital signs to know I'm still alive, and I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then, I walk alone. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps, and I'm the only one, and I walk alone. My shadow's the only one that walks beside me. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then, I walk alone.
Wow. Wow, beautiful. That is quite a song. I'm a big fan of Green Day. I feel like I kind of got really into the band when I was in my younger days, and then some of their later music I kind of fell away from just because my life kind of changed directions, and it just kind of became busier and different. But this is one song that I've heard quite a bit, and I really like how this reminds me of our individuality.
Yeah. I mean, just these first two lines. I walk a lonely road, the only one that I've ever known. For me, that says it all. And it's so sad to me. Like, why can't you find a new road?
I like how you did that. That is so wonderfully innocent. I love that. It is. Yeah.
It's time to find a new way to go.
It is, and it isn't. And that's something I was saying in my head on my drive here to the radio show this morning was simplicity. The simplicity of finding a new road.
Yeah.
Not just thinking all of these other complex, overthinking ways of thinking. Because we can outthink ourselves into complex situations, and like the next thing you know, you're like untying a knot of what you've just created, and that's where I feel like that is such a beautifully innocent and simplistic way of like looking at that line. That's such a powerful beginning of the song, and you're right. Like, why don't you choose a different road? Like one that actually has somebody else with you on it, or other individuals that you could join in a community to be a part of, so that it isn't a lonely road anymore.
Right. He does go on to answer that.
Oh, yes.
Because he says, I don't know where it goes. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me. And I walk alone.
And that, you know, and that's why I think too, in a way, that looking at that, I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known, don't know where it goes, but it's home to me. It's like that is the inner self. That's that person inside that is us. That's all of us. We are all walking our own individual lonely road, just in our own existence. And we don't have to be lonely in it, but it's the only one that we know. And we don't know where we're going to go. But it is definitely home, because it's our existence, and you know that is home. And we tend to think of the population as something that is annoying in traffic, and when we're trying to wait for our I don't know what, Chick-fil-A or maybe Starbucks, I don't know, but you know what I mean. It's like there are things that, you know, we have to wait on the phone for that 4-minute wait when they tell you it's 4 minutes and you feel like you're going to pull your hair out. But it's just that's the thing, is that we inside are so beautiful. And that is the only place that we really know. And we're not sure where we're going.
I do love that, Bruce, because you're correct.
In my rambling.
We're on this individual path. And when you realize that, I think that's when you can begin to find the new road.
Thank you for the translation.
Because right now, he is walking an empty street, on a boulevard of broken dreams where the city sleeps, and I'm the only one, and I walk alone. So in other words, I mean, for me, he's saying all of his dreams are gone. They've been broken.
Yes.
And yet he's choosing to stay where he's at, on this empty street, where everyone else is asleep and he's only one walking alone. But yet, he does recognize his shadow.
Yes, the only one that walks beside me. And then my shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. And I wonder, you know, because then in the following sentence he says, sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. And I think, you know, in a lot of ways, that kind of reminds me of the way that we can feel with emotion inside when we are kind of sticking to our, you know, we know that this is a tough road that we're going to take on. We're going to follow this path. Mm-hmm. We're going to make ourselves kind of stick to it because we know it's the either in this case it's home. It's the only road, and you just kind of have to be. And in a way, you know, he's accepting that.
Yeah,
he's kind of, it's kind of an acknowledgement of all of these things that a lot of us talk about in certain kind of metaphysical ways, if I may say so. But in a way, my shadow's the only one that walks beside me. That's a lot. And then my shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. And it just seems like he's kind of, in that moment, kind of acknowledging his inner kind of fear and inner kind of feelings, for lack of a better way to put it, and the emotions that he's feeling while he's traveling down this road.
Well, for me, that is definitely the purest definition of being alone.
Yes.
It's only your shadow and your heartbeat that you can hear that's beside you. I mean, the total, complete acknowledgement of I'm the only one in this place right now. Yeah. And for me, this place is not one of joy, not one of happiness, because he's calling it lonely. He's calling it broken dreams. He's calling it an empty street.
Yes.
And what I love is he's acknowledging that his shadow is there walking
Yes.
beside him.
Yeah.
And the shallow heart's the only sound he's hearing
Yes.
right now, the
Yes.
beating of that. I came just the other day, I was thinking about this and I wrote it down because it just came to my mind, and I probably read it somewhere and someone's probably already said it, but I'll say it here. Going into the shadow is where you will find the light.
Yes.
It's so many of us just feel like we have to be rainbows and sunlight all the time.
Yeah.
And
yes.
that to me is not true, because we are individuals with shadows,
Yes.
with fears, with doubts, with anger, frustration, anxiety, all those things that we call shadows.
Yes, yes, and they're sometimes we think of them as like bad feelings, or we have these negative emotions.
Right, and
or
you don't
things-
want to acknowledge them.
No.
You want to say, no, I'm a good person. I don't get
Yeah,
angry.
And here, it's such a beautiful acknowledgement of just a humanity, a deep humanity, a deep love of all of it, really. Because there is this kind of it has a little bit of a shadow over the whole song, in a way, you know, like like the cartoon little storm cloud above the character, you know, and you know, and I love how we just said all that, because then sometimes I wish someone out there will find me. Till then, I walk alone. It's just like you were saying.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's really that inner lament in a way, because there's this acknowledgement of all of those things. And that is so beautiful, because you're right, you have to go into the darkness to find the light. And a lot of times you don't know that if you just look at that darkness and you walk into it, you forget that if you just turn around, the light's been behind you all the time.
Oh, yes.
Because you just walked from it, so there's no way you couldn't be able to just kind of turn around and find it again. But the fear is going into that darkness. And I love how it goes on.
I'm walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind, on the borderline of the edge and where I walk alone.
That is so amazing.
That is such a thin line, but
Yes.
yet it's so broad.
It is very broad. That's the
know?
word I couldn't find. I was trying to find that word. That's a very good word to put it. It's very broad, because the walking down the line that divides me somewhere in my mind, on the borderline. You could think on the borderline of sanity and madness. And I'm kind of feeling that a little bit, but it's that kind of place where, you know, some of the artists from the past have been considered a little mad, like Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
And some, they had certain things and ways of being. And so some of me feels that could be what he's talking about, saying on the borderline of the edge. And where I walk alone, I mean, yes, that really speaks to a very common sense way of, I'm walking on the line, on the edge of madness here.
Yes.
And I walk alone, you know.
Yeah. I also see it as that line of desperation.
Yeah.
And the edge being, I'm going to jump.
Yes.
You know, I'm
Right
done.
on the edge of that
I'm
building.
finished.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yes.
I don't want to walk alone. I don't want to look at my shadow. You know, I'm tired of being alone. Nobody's finding me.
Yes.
I'm
just going to fall.
Yeah.
I'm
just going to walk off the edge.
Or I'm going to go mad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And read between the lines what's bleeped up and everything's all right. And that's
what we're talking about.
Exactly,
That's that divide, that
Yes,
borderline
yeah.
of everything is in the you know,
it's in the moment of and it
in the
really
mud pit.
in the moment of being in the mud pit. Yes, in the moment of getting, you know, just
and everything's all right.
everything's all right. And you know, check my vital signs to know I'm still alive, and I walk alone. You know, it's kind of like there is a sudden moment of, I believe, I don't want to say like we said, but in a way I feel like we were talking about that just a few minutes ago, where that's the acknowledgement. Here's where, we're not acknowledging in the mud pit with the shadows, finding out what is not fun, maybe a little scary. It's lonely, but still, I'm all right. Check my vital signs, I'm still alive, and I walk alone. It's not necessarily a brush off, but it is definitely being able to see and acknowledge those other things. And I find that to be fascinating.
I think it's also in his mind where he jumped.
Yes.
You know
yes,
what? Okay.
Yes.
In other words, in my mind, I'm gonna jump off the edge. I'm gonna take that way.
I'm going to take that leap, or
Yeah. And now, I'm gonna walk alone. Okay, wait a minute. I'm taking my vital signs. I jumped, but I didn't die.
And it's almost as
I
if
just processed it.
Yeah. And what's funny is, like, this just came to me because we're talking about why don't you pick another road? And that's where it happened.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
amazing. That's amazing. That
Yeah.
That kind of gave me a little chill there. But then it says, my shadow's the only one that walks besides me. I just made that a plural. My shallow heart's the only thing that's beating. Once again, complete, I like how you describe that, complete immersion, like you're the only thing there, like an immersion chamber where you feel like there's no other sense. And then sometimes I wish someone out there will find me, like reach out and just touch me and pinch me and make sure check my vital signs, make sure everything's okay. And till then, I walk alone. But it doesn't quite sound quite as dark now that we've been talking about some of these other things now, because then it goes on into, the finishing paragraph here, where it really just says it again, where it's like, what? It's almost like it's a wrap up that makes you feel better.
Yeah, because he's okay with being alone.
Yeah.
He understands that it's part of the process of becoming who you are when you do face those shadows and darkness all alone.
Yeah.
And you overcome it.
Yes.
Your shadow's walking beside you, and you can look at your shadow and you can say, hey dude, okay, yeah, we're angry today, I see that, yeah, let's keep going.
Yes. Yeah. Like,
that's
just
what it is.
take my hand, we're gonna keep on walking down this empty street.
I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams where the city sleeps, and I'm the only one, and I walk alone.
Walk alone.
It's almost like, I don't know, I don't remember, it's so funny, Bruce, because I talk about never hearing these songs and not remembering these songs, and then afterwards, when I'm listening to Ryan play them on the radio, I'm like, I get all giddy like a schoolgirl, and I go, oh my God, I know this song.
We are the same, yes.
I don't remember it, but I don't remember this song, and I don't know if at the end here, the music changes.
Actually, it stays very constant. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
It
stays constant.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because in the middle of the song, my shadow's the only one that walks besides me. That's when it actually picks up, and his voice is like singing it louder and with a little bit more energy and a little more. I don't know what to put in there. A little more vigor. It's like he's got like more vitality in that, and he's saying it just more powerfully. And then at the end here, it's more like the beginning, how it just kind of walks you really through the lyrics in a very hypnotic way in a certain sense. And I think that the way that he finishes it is very similar to the beginning of it, but it doesn't change so that you feel a sense of emotion to it. I think that what we have found is how we found what that part of it is. We found it in the lyrics. I believe, because I think we hit it on the head in a way. Like this is really that moment where check my vital signs. I know I'm still alive, and I walk alone. Just like you said, there's a change there. There was a change in which direction they were going, and it was obvious. And the lyrics, that's the thing that it demonstrates that by saying the word that we cannot say on the air, otherwise Ryan and his station are going to get fined. But that's why it says read between the lines what's bleeped up and everything's all right. It's, it's that moment where you don't know what's going to happen. You're stepping out onto that ice and you just hope you don't fall through.
Yeah.
I just ranted again. But I just, I think that's a beautiful, you just really inspired that little moment there, Donna. Thank you for that, because that really resonated with me.
Yeah, I think what it is he's gotten to a place where he's okay with his shadow walking beside him, and he's walking an empty street, and it's a boulevard of broken dreams, and the whole city's asleep, and he knows he's the only one, and he knows he's walking alone.
Yeah.
And he knows his shadow's right beside him, and it's only his shallow heart that's beating. And yet, it's okay because he still has that hope.
Yes.
Sometimes I wish someone out there will find
me. Till then, I walk alone. It's that inner knowing. Tomorrow, that sun is going to rise.
Yeah.
And when it rains, you know what? That's going to feed some of these vegetables I'm trying to grow in my garden and those plants that are growing those beautiful trees and flowers. It's not it can feel that way. At the beginning of the song, you definitely feel that. I walk a lonely road, this empty street, broken dreams. But if you think about it, a lot of very successful business-oriented people out there, I believe, tell the same story, that sometimes you start something and you have a failure, and then you start something and you have a failure. I know for a fact that the young lady that started the product called Spanx, she would...
Well, look at Michael Jordan. I mean,
yes.
How many times did he try out before he finally got on the team? I mean,
it's just... Well, there's a lot of things that really are, we forget that it could be described as a broken dream, but it doesn't have to be the end of all. That is just how we sometimes find our way, is by falling on our face. And it could be a big fall in the face or a little fall in the face. It could be a metaphorical, it's all possible.
And one thing I do want to tell all of you out there listening today is remember, you are never alone.
Beautiful.
Never alone.
Beautiful.
There is always someone, something, call it whatever you want, but that intelligent love of the Creator is right there with you.
Always.
Always. You're never alone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Remember, please send in your requests to
lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Or you can send them here to the radio station at 99classicrock@gmail.com. That's 99classicrock@gmail.com.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe on our new YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for being here on WQEE 99.1 FM. And thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Y'all have a blessed day.